my life in Washington, D.C. It's a beautiful day today. Let's see what's going on at the White House. Looks like they're doing yoga at Farragut Square.
Already in more than a dozen court cases across the land.
Hi, it's Muhammad Jaweed Ahmadi. I'm originally from Afghanistan. I came to the US in fall 2011 to study as an international student at Middlebury College in Vermont. In 2011 in December, there was a bomb blast that killed my uncle who used to teach me how to make shoes while I was a refugee in Iran. I started to study political science, creative writing, anthropology classes, religion classes, 9 languages, because I wanted to talk to the world that Afghanistan needs a time to put a full stop and say that peace can come to that country. Because the children and women of Afghanistan deserve more dignity, more respect, more responsibility from the powerful people in position of power. That's why I come to White House most of the day to just tell Mr. Trump that now if you're president, now if you're going for bad guys, please be careful that children and women should not be killed. Children and women should be respected. And they should be also protected, their freedom of speech. And I originally lived in Vermont and wanted to get my political asylum after my uncle got killed, because with this perspective that I have in Afghanistan, I don't live a peaceful life, and also my family lives there, so whenever I speak up, my family can get threatened. But I moved to DC after living 1 year in California, and the reason I come to DC is that I want to find a job at restaurants where I can earn minimum wage with dignity to tell Mr. Trump that, yeah, there are some kids that they are educated, they're well-versed in their life, but still they accept to earn with their hands and handwork and hard work. But at the same time, today, what I'm doing here in front of the White House, I see a lot of children. It's a good day because I want to talk about children's rights, more important than anything. Okay, so in Afghanistan, unfortunately, it's more than 4 decades that we have a new culture growing. It used to exist for millennia, Azande culture, where military men, they take small boys and use them as sexual objects. And then after 18 years, they keep them as their sexual object and entertainer. And also telling others that, yeah, I have a boy and that boy is mine. And then after 18, they marry the man, and then that person gets his boys, so small children. And there is a documentary called The Dancing Boys of Afghanistan, and it was by a Hazara journalist who produced it, but he got death threat. And unfortunately, there was an article that it showed that how American government or military there, they ignored it, because in the northern part of Afghanistan, there's a lot of warlords that they work with US government, that they have sexual abuse of children. But the American government just looked left and didn't touch them because of political reason. But one of the reasons that I want to sell handmade rags is that I want to save those children, because 3 million children work on the streets. So how they find them is that they go and find an orphan. They find a poor kid and tell the family, we will feed your child, we will take care of it, so the family cannot take care of them. They keep the child. And just because they were used as sexual object, and then once they are married, they have their own children, they take other children's. So this culture keep going, and Azande culture was and existed since the beginning. Whenever there was military, whenever they couldn't win, if they couldn't win the war, they couldn't have the beautiful woman, they would have the children. And they call it creating children warrior by just having sexual interaction with them, at the same time proving themselves that they have someone below them, and that is inhuman. That is, I'm surprised at how UN, how World Bank, how International Justice Court, how US's Constitution allows such abuse happen in Afghanistan.
So is it usually men abusing boys?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Men that they have some position of power, men that they live in villages and they have guns, men that they somehow, US government needs to rely on them or they will align themselves with the Russians. Whoever they align with, they align, but those warlords, those people in position of power, they actually just go and use their position of power on children, small children.
So even though Afghanistan is a conservative culture,
Yeah.
they don't see anything wrong with men abusing young boys sexually?
So, in terms of like religion, what the people say is that whenever there's a homosexual act, if they are found, they should be stoned to death. Or if there's like 3 witnesses seeing that and reporting, they should be stoned to death. It's as lynching, which means that publicly people just like do their Sharia or rule of law, which is wrong. And in any sense, killing anyone for any act, I think it's inhuman. And in terms of how people of Afghanistan, 99% of the population wants that culture to end even today. And men, there's a singer, he's called Feroz Kunduzi. He's a pop singer, he's really popular. All his songs are about small boys being like sexual object for men. And every wedding, everything that these warlords have gathering, they literally invite him. That guy is free and he walks around and he's a rapist. And Afghan people, they cannot do anything because they go through hardship and poverty, and they can't do anything because this warlord has gone and killed them. And those men also try to keep these boys during the nights and during the wedding times, during the weekends time when the government is off. And also some military men from the government of Afghanistan actually, when they take off their clothes, they just go and actually abuse children. And that's inhuman. And I think if there's a God in Afghanistan, that God should have left Afghanistan a long time ago. That's why children and women get treated like that in Afghanistan. As someone who is from Afghanistan, I personally feel humiliated because it's 27 years that I live and I see war, everything happen. What I really can't, like, my conscience accept is that children in my country get abused in different ways. And in terms of girls, because they made up that they can marry younger girls at age 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, that is not even reported. And in terms of boys from 6 years to 18 years, they're being sexual object. And in terms of war and poverty, Afghanistan grows at a rapid rate and the economy doesn't go well, and the poverty creates this possibility of abuse. And I think that abuse should be stopped. And I really hope that the American people, no matter if you're gay, no matter if you're feminist, no matter if you're angry about it, you should at least talk and ask the Trump administration to issue this important thing, because 40 years of war, if that cannot be ended overnight, at least this can be ended overnight. Just Mr. Trump talk one time that how children of Afghanistan can be molested every day. Thank you.
I hear Krista singing. Let's go check her out.
He's a dedicated husband.